Yes, it's here. The 3D printer is here, and now I need to watch a lot of videos on unpacking it because there's a complicated process. And we got another $50 donation today. I'm very grateful for that. We're that much closer to the completion of the Kids Printmaking Space Lab. My friend David stopped by just as I was taking another part out of the 3D printer. It came out to be wrong, and so he helped me fix it, dimensionally, and I hope this one works. And so when he left, I gave him one of these failures as a souvenir, and he said he was going to make a keychain out of it. That was funny. The interesting thing about printmaking in the 21st century is that you learn printing on a 3D printing press, which is, of course, a 3D printer, whereas in the 20th century we only printed in 2 dimensions. But even more interesting than that is my 5-box printmaking teaching method is that you first print a mold and decal for making paper, and then you make paper. The second step is you make a printing plate, and this one is going to be a QR code, which is another story in itself. When you've printed the plate, you next print your press. The working model I'm doing now, which is more of a sketch than anything, looks like this, and it's identified with Rembrandt because it was a copy of a 17th century press. When you've printed your press, then you process your plate, you get your plate ready, and probably use a 3D printed brayer like this one to get it ready to print if it's a relief print. And fifth is a step which is frequently ignored, which is the social aspect of printmaking. The 5th step is that you make a print pal somewhere in the world by a network dedicated to print pals. Sure different than what I learned in college. It was 90 days ago, April 8th, 2024, when donors gave me enough money to buy a 3D printer, install 3D modeling software, and start the Kids Printmaking Space. And this is the lab. You may know that years ago I made the wee Woody Rembrandt press from wood, and before that I made the half-wood presses, which were miniaturized etching presses. This one is designed after the same press, after the press designs of the 17th century, when Rembrandt was making his famous etching, and he has become sort of the theme of these presses. And so what we make in plastic today is called the We Play Rembrandt press. PLA is the type of biodegradable plastic that the 3D printer uses. I'm so glad that I got the support of those donors to the GoFundMe plan and allowed me to buy the first printer. And tomorrow, on Sunday, June 9th, the second printer arrives, which is much smaller, a tiny footprint, yet it has the same capabilities of this larger one. So the Kids Printmaking Space Lab is continuing. Thank you for supporting the project. Well, here it is. The same company makes a smaller press called the Joy, and I ordered it so that it fits more on the Kids Printmaker Space that I designed originally. So that's about it for this update, and I thank my donors again and ask those who have not yet given to the project to please do and tell your friends. Thank you. Getting close to the end of my course in the Kids Printmaking Space, This is the first segment of the top roller of the We Play Rembrandt's press. And just to give you a little bit of an update, the little sister to the first of the 3D printing presses, the Joy, part of the X-Maker family of presses or printers for kids. I'm looking for a group or family to join me in using the Joy to print parts for the presses. And this is my workplace with all the parts, current parts that I'm working on for the We Play Rembrandt press. And over here, I guess you could call it the state of the art. And there are other projects going on too. One of them's kind of interesting, or two of them really. Maybe it doesn't have anything to do with my current project, but a mystery print came from the Davidson Gallery. After their fire, they discovered one of my prints was still in their inventory. I still haven't opened it. I'm curious what it is. And coming up next in my experiments is my drone docent. So I bought a drone to learn on, and the idea is that it will fly around the gallery and make videos and act like a little fly on the wall, sort of. That's what's coming up next. And the blender here sits here because we're going to do paper making, which is the first step in the 5-step printmaking teaching method that I'm designing, followed up, of course, by plate making and press making and print making, and finally the print pals. Well, thanks for watching.